This morning, Whoop officially announced the Whoop 5.0 and the Whoop MG. It's smaller, it's smarter, and it's packed with all new features like ECG readings, blood pressure insights, health span, and much more. Is this new Whoop just for hardcore athletes, or are they starting to cater for everybody out there? Let's find out. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris and I'm an athlete, entrepreneur, and content creator. And I'm super hyped to do this video because I am actually one of the first few people who've been lucky enough to get my hands on the Whoop 5.0 a little bit early. Now just to preface this video, this is not a sponsored ad. Yes, I am a partner of Whoop, but we are focused on paid media content, ads, things like that. And this is just an honest review. I've been able to get my hands on this device early and I just want to share my thoughts. So the first thing I want to cover is new design and new hardware. First, let's cover what's changed in design and hardware. First off, the Whoop 5.0 is 7% smaller than the Whoop 4.0. It's actually gotten slightly slimmer, which is not a huge noticeable difference, but nonetheless, it's enough to notice that it just feels like it fits your wrist a little bit better. Next is a 14-day plus battery life. That's nearly triple the amount of charge life that we were getting on the Whoop 4.0. So if you're somebody who's training a lot or maybe traveling frequently, you can now go over 2 weeks without even having to worry about charging your Whoop device. Next is the MG band. So this year Whoop is releasing two different bands. One is the base model 5.0 and the other band is the MG model, which is what I'm wearing. Now, as you can see, the biggest difference on the MG model is actually this little scalloped indentation right here. And what this does, there's one on each side. What this does is allow you to take ECG readings for your heart. So if you're somebody who's looking to get all the latest tech with Whoop's newest release, you're gonna wanna get the MG model. I will go into all the new features in depth in a minute, but I think the biggest takeaway here right off the bat is triple the battery life. Getting over 2 weeks is absolutely insane. I will say it did get a little bit annoying over the past few years having to charge every 4 to 5 days, or if I was going on a trip, having to take a charger or two on these trips along the way, and it just requires a lot more discipline and responsibility, whereas now you get 14 plus days, you might not even need to take these chargers anymore. Depending on the length of your trip, which is pretty game changing. All right, for now, the meat and bones of this video, let's talk about the new features and the deeper insights. Now, these new sensors and features that are here for 2025 can impact just about anybody's life, whether you are into marathons, triathlons like myself, working a high stress job, or just wanting to track your overall wellness and longevity. First new feature is Health Span. Health Span calculates two crucial metrics: your Whoop age and your pace of aging. At first glance, it might seem pretty cool to see that your Whoop age is actually 8 years younger than your actual biological age. But more importantly, it ties in daily habits like sleep consistency, time spent in various heart zones when you're training, and stress markers to show you how it's affecting your overall long-term health trajectory. So a reason why I believe that Health Span is going to be such an important topic over the next decade is because it applies to everybody. Whether you're a college student who deals with a lot of stress, Whoop will give you the insights that you need to improve your sleep, your habits, to make sure that you are doing what's necessary for your longevity. Or maybe you're an older adult and this actually gets treated as an early warning system. Something like, hey, you may be aging faster than you think. This could be a very important metric to be able to see this early enough to then make the changes that you want to see to ultimately live a long, healthy life. Or in my situation where I'm constantly pushing my body super hard, training for marathons, Ironmans, I want to make sure that I'm actually not doing damage to my body, right? I want to make sure that all the training that I'm doing isn't going to harm me in the long run. So based on the data that I've seen so far on the Whoop 5.0, I'm actually in a great position where I'm 8.5 years younger than my actual age. So this is pretty cool to see, and it really just shows me that I'm on the right track. The foods I'm eating, the recovery I'm getting, the workouts that I'm doing is all working out into my favor for longevity. Next is the heart screener. Whoop now supports on-wrist ECG readings to detect potential AFib or irregular heart rhythms. That's not just useful for athletes, that's useful for anybody. I know a few people personally who deal with irregular heart rhythms, and now instead of going to the doctor to go get tests done, it's literally just at your wrist and can be done in 30 seconds. Pretty insane. So whether you're heading out for a 26.2 mile run, or maybe you have a family history of cardiac issues, to be able to have a piece of tech so valuable at your fingertips is pretty incredible. And not only that, it only takes 30 seconds to take this test. Once your reading is done, it's gonna populate a report for you, and you can directly send that to your doctor, which is pretty incredible. So having ECG readings now on the new Whoop is gonna be so important for athletes who are starting to maybe feel off in their training. It's gonna be important for the everyday person who deals with a lot of chronic stress on a daily basis. It's gonna be extremely important for the older adults or people at risk to find any early detections and possibly even save lives. Next feature, blood pressure insights. Blood pressure might be one of the most universally valuable features. To preface, it is a beta feature. It is by no means a full replacement of a actual blood pressure monitor, but it's gonna give you ongoing estimates of your blood pressure. The way we set this up is we first need to get our hands on just a normal blood pressure monitor cuff and take 3 readings 1 minute apart. And with that data, Whoop can now give you estimates from that point on about your blood pressure. Now, blood pressure and the other features that I talk about, they really focus on keeping you healthy right now or preventing anything worse from happening in the future. So with blood pressure, it could be stress related, nutrition related, body stress related, and now Whoop is going to be able to guide you and give you insights on how to manage that. Those are the key new features on 5.0 and Whoop MG. Now there is also a whole dedicated women's section for menstrual cycles and I believe even pregnancy, but obviously I don't have the details of that because I'm not a woman, but from what I heard from the announcement today, it seems very, very insightful and very, very exciting for women who are looking for help and guidance in that category. Now, another notable feature that we did get on 4.0 worth mentioning a couple months ago was VO2 max. Now, VO2 max is a very, very important metric marker to gauge your overall fitness level and your overall wellness level. So the goal with VO2 max is to make sure that you have as high as possible of a VO2 max as you possibly can. Obviously, it changes with person to person and it can change on when you age. So as you age, your VO2 max will start to slowly decline, but the goal nonetheless is to have a high VO2 max. High VO2 max means that you are essentially healthier. Now, the reason why I think this is notable is because now with these new 5.0 features and the MG features like the heart scanner, the blood pressure, your health span, your VO2 max is now being accounted for on all these new features. So overall, in the big picture, you're giving Whoop more accurate data to be able to help you optimize on what your goals are and what you want to get out of Whoop. The next thing is membership tiers. I won't go too much into detail because you can go look on the website, but essentially there is now 3 tiers of memberships, and I believe the goal for Whoop is to be able to cater to everybody. So you'll have an intro membership for the person who is maybe just getting into the health space. They're brand new, they want to test the waters, they want to start tracking. That is going to be called the 1 membership. The middle tier is called Peak membership. Essentially, you are getting more features and you are getting that on the 5.0 band. You will get a little bit more features than the 1 membership, but you will not get access to the ECG readings. So the ECG readings is going to be on the Life membership, and the Life membership is going to have all the bells and whistles, all the newest, latest tech. That is for the person who is really looking to focus on longevity, who loves to look at numbers and analytics and focus on what they can do to optimize. Whereas the middle package is maybe for someone who doesn't necessarily like to look at all the analytics and just wants, you know, a little bit of the new stuff. But if you're like me, I love the analytics, I love the numbers, I love to focus on what I can do to better improve my life, and that comes in the Life package. So 3 tiers now, catering to more people. And the Life package will be the new MG band with the ECG reading. All right, so let's talk about the upgrade conundrum. Should you stay with the Whoop 4.0? Should you get the 5.0? Should you get the Peak? Should you get the MG band? What should you do? Honestly, in my opinion, I think it just depends on your situation. If you're someone who is just getting into fitness and doesn't have a Whoop band yet, maybe starting at the 1 level is probably a good place to start. If you're any similar to me, I didn't even think about the 1 package or the Peak package. I just went straight to the Life package because I've been using Whoop for the past 6 years, and at this point, we've been waiting for an upgrade since 2021. So to be able to get these new features available for us, the ECG readings, the blood pressure, the health span, all that, I think is amazing. And I think that having all the bells and whistles is ultimately what's gonna make me better as a person, as an athlete, and it's just what makes me happy and helps me focus on my longevity. So if you're someone who loves the analytics, loves to have the new thing, I think the life package with the MG band is the way to go. Now, real world impact, like who benefits most from these features that are now out available for us in 2025? Honestly, I think everybody. I think we're entering a very unique time, decade, future where we are focused on taking care of our health today. You know, decades past, I think health was something that wasn't really thought about or even talked about until something was wrong. If something was wrong, you go to the doctor and then you treat it. That's the old way of doing things. I think today, with the rise of technology and AI and the advancements that we have gone through over the past 5 years, 4 years, I think is really shifted us to this time where we have power. We can understand our bodies through devices like Whoop 5.0. We can utilize AI to help us with whatever we need. So we're entering this space where longevity and health span and all of these crazy technological advancements really just helps us focus on our current health today and really helps us with this preventative phase where we can really focus on longevity and not be so scared or have to not think about health until something's wrong. So I think this is a very unique time to be alive, and I think that these new features that just came out is just literally the tip of the iceberg. I think with the advancement of AI and to be able to get more data points at our hands on a daily basis, mixed in with the ability to use AI, I think we're entering this very unique time to be alive, and I'm just really excited about it. So yes, these features are awesome, but I'm more excited to see what's to come in the next few years, to be able to gather more personal data for our health, our longevity, to see what that can really do for us humans in the future. So I think that's pretty cool. Now lastly, I do want to talk about things that I wish were in the 5.0 and or the MG band that I wish would have happened. But honestly, I'm saying this with complete lack of knowledge on if it's even possible to do something like this with these bands. Number one, I thought it would be so cool to get some sort of hydration feature where maybe it could read your sweat levels, your salt levels, to be able to tell you, are you hydrated? Are you lacking sodium? Are you lacking potassium? Are you lacking magnesium? Something like that to be able to gauge your hydration levels, I think would have been really, really dope, but not even sure if that's, you know, possible with something like a Whoop band. But I don't know, I think it would be really cool to not only athletes or like triathletes like myself to be able to see your sweat levels and hydration levels, but even just like the everyday person who maybe lacks energy throughout the day. I think a lot of people think it's like a caffeine issue, why they are not having energy throughout the day, but a lot of times it really comes down to hydration. A lot of people are not drinking a lot of water. I'm sure like 95% of people aren't getting in their daily electrolytes to give their body the minerals that they need to be able to feel good and feel hydrated and things like that. So I think, I don't know, maybe it's something that can come in the future where we can have like a hydration feature. The other feature that I was kind of hoping would come would be blood glucose. I think that being able to check in on blood sugar levels, I think would be game changing. Again, currently I'm not even like, you would need something to prick you or something like that. So we might not be there quite yet to be able to get blood glucose levels with just a wristband. Just to think, to be able to check on your blood sugar levels, for me again as a triathlete, marathoner, to be able to see when your blood sugar levels are dropping and when you need to replace to be able to maximize your performance in a race, or vice versa, you are focused on health, longevity, maybe weight loss, and you want to see what certain foods do to your blood, you know, how to adjust and make sure that you're not getting, you know, too much of sugary foods that is going to spike your insulin levels, which is going to cause insulin resistance and things like that. I think some feature like that in the future would be amazing. Those are really the top two things that I wish that were kind of included, but again, I don't know if it's even possible. Maybe it is, maybe it's coming for 6.0, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, at this point, you really can only add so many more features to a hardware device. I think what I am more excited for and optimistic about is the AI development that is going to happen within the next couple years, and all the data that Whoop does provide for us. What is AI going to be able to do with that data for us, for our longevity, for our health? I think that is the exciting part. So these new features, yes, they are very awesome. But I think, again, it's just the very tip of the iceberg. I think the AI development is what's really going to be amazing to look back on in a few years. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys found some value in this video. I've been loving the Whoop MG 5.0 Life version. It's been amazing so far. And overall, just super excited about the era that we are currently living in. You know, to be able to have a heart reading sensor, to have blood pressure, to be able to get your health span age based off of your habits. I think that we're entering a very interesting time to be alive and to focus on our health and our longevity. So overall, excited for Whoop 5.0, where the future takes us. And yeah, hope you guys like this video. If you guys are thinking about or ready to sign up for Whoop, I will drop my affiliate link. It'll help you save a few bucks. And as always, thank you guys for watching. The future is gonna be amazing. Whoop 5.0. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Whoop 5.0, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.